Suk doctors, sword masters, and the mystical Bene Gesserit sisterhood. But it was the navigators and their monopoly on space travel that set the conditions for the Imperium. But I am telling you of the universe you already know. Let me describe the one you do not. In this other universe, my mother, Lady Jessica, consort to Duke Leto Atreides.
Hello. I'll turn that up. And that. So, there was an announcement from the creative director, and we'll look into that momentarily. I want to get in and get things crafting at least before I dive into whatever that message was. Should have lots of duraluminum, so maybe I can make a another scout thopter. Be nice. Good evening, Osiris. It's still afternoon for me, but yes, you want to see a quick gander of my base? I gotta go get bodies real quick and do a little whirl around. How's my day been so far? Busy, as always. Just grinding shit out. And hot. It's really warm here. Yeah, I'm redoing up the base a bit. How's your day been? And pan around to the other side. And then I'm gonna go hit a some sort of spot for bodies. I'm gonna switch up the wall here, but that's the base as it stands. We're slowly getting there. Now after I get these bodies and get them dumped into the death stills, I'll go over whatever the creative director decided to address. It's 96 there. Day's been good. Gotta grill some chicken soon, but glad to be home in AC. Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. It's not that hot here, thankfully, but it's definitely a little toasty. I think it's like 80s here. Well, I do need intel as well, so let's do a twofer, get some bodies and intel. Seeing a lot of hubbub about what the creator-director said and just the general direction of endgame and PvP. I mean, I'll eventually get around to reading that, but without looking at it, I do think they need to switch up how they have the endgame system. I think that the biggest fault that they have as far as the PvP, they shouldn't be like... They're trying to mix oil and water. It's the fact that we need gravitum and titanium, and that's kind of PvP walled, you know? That's a deterrent for a lot of players, and as we've seen with Last Oasis, you kind of have to pander to the PvEers a little bit. So that's going to be a good majority of the people who play this. Oh shit, that's not what I want to do. I think that's my only issue with the endgame area. They made it to where PvEers could snag stravitum and titanium without having to sweat bullets. I think it would do better. Oh, you're just chilling. Not anymore. But that's all said without even looking at the what the creative director said. So I said once I get these bodies, take a look at it. Oh right, I should be collecting blood. I'm not. And I did not realize I got. Where are you throwing that nade, bud? You threw that down the stairs. Alright. Stacking bodies. Personally, didn't run into any issues gathering stuff or Clustanium, just was tedious since I wasn't able to use a buggy laser or any of it because of safety as being a solo. Yeah, and that's kind of like, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like, there should be a safer, like, at least spawn the Stravitum and Titanium in the first row, you know? Is the Coriolis about to hit? I think that hits tomorrow. I believe that hits tomorrow. The PvP zone in the New Desert should strictly just be uniques and bigger spice deposits. Beyond that, I don't think there should be anything beyond that PvP wall. What up, Alexa? I think that would help not deter a lot of... There's a lot of people who don't even want to humor playing the basin portion of the game because of the fact of the PvP area of the desert. Oh fuck. Oh, yeah, I guess YouTube did it. Weird. Yeah, I did watch it. The environment design for Chrono Odyssey looks sick. And the enemy design. Like when that game's going into full release, I'm for sure playing it. Please gather the blood. Can you gather the blood, please? Just a drop. Okay, body it is. Need me some water. Probably gonna have to farm a bit more aluminum, to be honest. We got a bit of grinding to do. Got some bot energy going on Kick. Oh my god, give me the fucking blood, thank you. Damn it, dude. I didn't think the blood extraction could get more buggy, and then I got a Mark IV blood extractor. Did I already grab this one? Yeah, I did. Oh well. Didn't make it to the fourth boss, but when you were playing, I stumbled into the third boss before the second boss, and Jesus. That sounds like something I would do. As I'm sure it's become abundantly apparent as I've played this, I tend to do things out of order. Not intentionally. It just happens. I might get ahead of myself a little bit sometimes, but... Oh boy, here's some spice. Retroactively cleared your upcoming quest after I beat the second boss, so I didn't have to face the third twice. Oh, what a concept. It's almost like this game should consider doing that a little bit with some of their quests. I mean, they kind of do if you have to pick up an item, but more so referring specifically to like when you fight a boss before you're supposed to fight it, and then you get a contract to go kill the boss, and then the boss is already dead, so you have to wait an hour before the boss generates again. Kind of annoying.
Someone's got them. Enemy sighted. Shield on.
What is that sound? It was a weird sound.
Eyes on target.
Oop. Trying to be good about grabbing a bunch of bodies, but makes it a wee bit difficult. Only being able to. Oh, hello. That's awkward. I love the knockback it causes them. Their head just flinging back and shooting in the dome like that. Oh, that's a lot going on. I'll just let the bird do its thing. Oh, let's not stand. Oh man, I have explosives all around me. That's bad. I just want the intel at this moment. Actually, you know what? Let's go depot some bodies. I can fling myself up there and try to grab those as quickly as possible, at least. Depot, thank you. I'm seeing the usual friction that I tend to see between PvP and PvEers, at least in my comment sections, and it's just a wee bit tiresome. Not necessarily, it's because people are so aggressively opinionated to one side or the other. There's no like nuance or like middle ground with these groups. I'm already feeling the pit of the beta being over. That's... I don't like doing like short-lived betas like that, dude. It just... I did that with Wildgate and I'm like, man, that sucks. Now I have to wait for it to release. Oh shit, that's a new one. I haven't seen that before. Okay, you guys can fuck off. I'm just trying to stow your buddies away in my ship. I'm gonna just leave that there. That's about it. More important things to do. Just walk away and it takes them both down. I love that. Alright, the intel. Now we can move. Whoop. But the loot? When I turn around, I'm like, oh, there's a chest there. I should go grab that. And it's a single basic bandy. That is the worst. What a mild inconvenience. I'll snag these two bodies, then we'll dip back to the base, and then we'll take a gander at what the creative director said. Oh, whoops, I should have grabbed the... Oh, storage is full. Oh. Oh, that's... Okay. There we go. Problem solved. Oh, and I'm full now. Did it not pick up his... Of course. Can I refuel this? There we go. We got plenty of bodies. Alright, back to this. Oh, that's the drill shot? Yeah, I haven't seen that in action. Like, I haven't received it before. I tried using it. I didn't much care for it. I could see the appeal, but not my thing. The lighting is so good in this. I get a lot of that has to do with Unreal, but it's pretty damn good. Alright, let's transfer these bodies out. Got a little scared there for a moment. I was like, wait a minute, where's my other thopter? I forgot it's in my vehicle gun. So tedious, but it's a lot less tedious than running around grabbing a bunch of blood off of NPCs, that's for sure. Those are going. I don't have any aluminum to cook up. I don't think I have any duraluminum to cook up, actually. Yeah, I can't cook anything. We have ample to make another Mach 6 Scout Thopter, though, so that's the main thing. That being said, let's take a look what the creative director decided to address. Get it out of the way. What a jump scare, huh? Alright. I wanted to write something that acknowledges and addresses the comments around the endgame of Dune Awakening, while also providing context for what we are attempting. So let me start by stating this unequivocally: we want PvE players to be able to play the end game, okay, and have access to the content of the end game. Our goal is not to force PvE players to interact with a PvP system that they may have no interest in. Good. That's a good start. What a void. My desk room looks like a weird operating room. It really does. We're just now going over the changes, so I don't know what they're doing. I was talking about it earlier, so we'll see, but because earlier I was saying they were trying to mix oil and water, you know, and they should just drop stravitum and titanium in the first sections of the PvE portion of the deep desert, and then let all the like better spice deposits and schematics be in the PvP area. Let's see here. No endgame plan survives first contact with the players. Mark Twain, probably. Okay. We still believe in the core concept of the deep desert, an endlessly renewing location that resets every week and creates an activity loop for great rewards. The tension of heading out there. Head on a swivel, eyes peeled for foes as you enter into the dangerous part of the... Our wish was that players would embrace this loop, forming guilds to work together to overcome the bleakness of the desert. That is such a naive fucking approach. Having played several survival MMOs, to be like, oh, you know, the people will just join forces together and try to get the end game stuff. It won't become a grieving rat nest or anything, is such a naive thought. Wish in one hand, shit in the other. See which one fills up first. One of my hand is overflowing right now, and sadly it's not wishes. Yeah, but that's well put. At least he's self-aware. Some areas of the deep desert will now be flagged as partial warfare, while the deepest parts of the deep desert will remain as they currently are, high reward, high risk areas. Who says that phrase? That is a phrase that is never said in that order. High risk, high reward. That is always the order that phrase is stated. I'm semantics, I know, but they're just being a little nitpicky. The reality is that players are reporting being cut out of the endgame due to the extremely competitive nature of the deep desert. Starting soon, some areas of deep desert will now be flagged as partial warfare, areas where players will be able to explore testing stations and harvest T6 resources without the threat of conflict that they may not want. It's important, at least they're actually listening, dude. It's important to note that the top tier of the game is balanced around guilds and groups, so people will still find it grindy if they play solo. I feel targeted. I'm not complaining, though. I understand that. Landstrad control points, shipwrecks, and the largest spice fields within the region of the deep desert will remain War of Assassins. Good. The deepest parts of the deep desert will remain as they currently are, high reward, high risk areas. Stop saying that backwards. The beauty of the deep desert design with weekly resets and renewals is that we can iterate and experiment with different layouts and setups to really help us tune it. As we make changes, we will send out surveys to help us capture your thoughts. I'm impressed. I'm actually kind of impressed. They actually seem to be listening and acting accordingly. A game dev has never done that before. No one in the survival genre. Especially Last Oasis. PvP itself has plenty of issues that need to be addressed. Yeah, your clunky-ass combat, for one. We're taking steps in that direction with our first changes to Scout Ornithopters. Stated in the AMA, they should be implemented in-game shortly. Scout Thopters with rocket launchers attached will have their speed maneuverability reduced. Yeah, that was a bit of an oversight to not have that. Rockets fired from Scout Ornithopters will have a increased heat generation. Another oversight. Glad they're addressing that. Thrusters will provide a max speed bonus regardless of wings, ensuring that thruster-equipped scouts will be the fastest vehicles in-game, as they should be. A new T5 infantry rocket launcher will be added to help improve the dynamics of vehicle ground combat. Who's even doing ground combat in the deep desert at this point, you know? No one. I rarely see it. It's all dogfighting. Unless they're surfing on another Thopter. There are additional changes to the mechanics like respawn timers of vehicle storage tools, hand scanners, and other mechanics that we see being abused in the deep desert. In what way? I could see how respawn timers might be abused. Vehicle storage tools I could see being abused. Hand scanners, I'm a little, that one eludes me. I'm not sure how that could be abused, but I don't even really use the tool. The intended dynamic of the deep desert PvP in Dune Awakening is that unless you really mess up, you always have the option to retreat in good order with whatever you've managed to claim so far. As long as you don't fly like shit, you should be fine. If you're smart and vigilant, you never have to fight if you don't want to. If you run, you'll have to call a halt to whatever task you're pursuing, but that should always be a choice. PvP should happen when both parties decide they want to fight over a location. Or you get chased down for 15 kilometers. Saw a clip of a solo raid, a trio that jumped him, and he used the las gun to raid their base. Was it that video where the guy was like, I built a base in the deep desert to see what it... And then he's like, you use the las gun and a couple of other things that spice up and just you can cut everything through butter. I think I've seen that clip too. Ended up taking over the base. I don't know if it was a trio or not, but... There's a unique hand scanner that specifically shows live forms. Like players, I assumed. Oh, probably. Yeah, you're probably right. So they're trying to make it the dynamic consensual PvP, which isn't a bad thing. It's just being able to actually balance that into a game is difficult. Okay. Finally, the intended dynamic has always been combined arms. We have infantry and ground vehicles and air vehicles. I'll finish reading before I comment on that one. And they're all supposed to have clear roles, clear strengths, and clear counters. Thopters will always be incredibly important for crossing the desert, but they shouldn't also be the dominant force in actual battles. We're planning to make more changes to the deep desert to accommodate ground battles. Does that mean more rock formations? And reinforce the use of player builds. Interesting. Yeah, because currently how it's set up, there is, like... There's, like, practically no use for a ground vehicle in the deep desert whatsoever. Barely. It's like way more tedious than what it's worth to drag one out there, unless you're in a big group and using a sandcrawler. As a system, it is an activity driver that is designed to promote the conflict between the factions, internal politics between the guilds, while providing goal thresholds for individuals and groups to work towards getting personal rewards. The Landstrad should be doing that for everyone who wants to participate in the Elder game. Fuck it. What is an Elder game? Be they PvEer or PvPer, the Landstrad should be giving you things to do every day and every week. True. So the Coriolis is hitting? I answered that right when you asked that. Yes, the Coriolis hits every Tuesday. It's not happening today, but it's going to happen tomorrow. It's every week on Tuesday. It's nothing new from a design perspective. We've seen daily, weekly quest systems in games for a long time. Okay. I don't feel like Landstrat is the issue, though. Our approach was to try and frame this system around the greater politics of the Dune universe by having players engage in activities to earn the votes of various Landstrat houses. Are people just ignoring it? Well, yeah. Never mind. I am one of those people that have been ignoring it. But I'm solo. It's harder to do Landstrat as a solo, if not impossible. I shouldn't say impossible, it's definitely more difficult. Let me acknowledge that as an activity driver, the activities it asks you to participate in are simplistic. A lot of item hand-ins and crafting requests. That's because the system is in its earliest launchable iteration. You know how the other day I was saying that it seems to be a standard nowadays for games to release, they do a beta test, and then they release onto PC. And then consoles don't see it for another 3 to 6 months. That's because the official release for us is just more testing before they put it out on a console, and that clearly just really proves that point. Landstrad is an umbrella for all endgame activities. What form do those endgame activities take? More dungeons with bosses that drop endgame loot. Thank you. More contracts that require specific tasks to be undertaken. That's ambiguous, but sure, I can get on board with that. More specialized delivery tasks that include components that cannot be stockpiled. If we ever add raids to the game, you absolutely should add raids, there will be a task on Landstrad to complete those raids. It is a framework that holds the endgame activities in place. And by doing that, okay, that's smart. It should not be an if. It should be a when we add raids. Because that really caters to the dynamic of PvEers feeling like they're walled by a PvP portion of the game. So with what they're intending to implement, it makes it to where PvEers will be able to access the deep desert, but the better loot will be out in the deep desert PvP sections. But if they add raids like they're saying here, that makes it to where those PvEers can access those same rewards, if not a different category of endgame rewards, and not feel blocked off from it. They have a lot of framework stuff they could adjust in Dune for sure. The huge open deep desert in the Landstrad system. Yeah, and they for sure need to address that. But I think raids should be implemented, and
weather alert.
They should make it like more. It should definitely not be an if. I think that should be added in. Give something for the PvEers to do while us PvP sweats enjoy our adrenaline boosted means of getting good endgame loot. We're addressing some of the key flaws in Landstrad design. The inability to hand in items after a square is completed, and the rapidity? I don't like that phrasing. Rapidity. It's such a... I'm gonna use so many other words. At which some squares are turned in. Stockpiling is currently rewarded, but that is not our intention for this system. So less grind, that's good, and we will make some changes to address it as best we can. Landstrad rewards are supposed to reflect the endgame tiers of progression. This includes the vendors, which can be unlocked for an entire faction through participation. Wow. Participation. Cannot speak today. Rapidity? Yeah, I don't like the word at all. This is the intention, but once again, let me acknowledge that this isn't exactly in the right place. Landstrad will be updated to provide micro rewards for solo small group players. Let's go. That's me. Once a live game launches, it becomes a collaborative effort between the developers and the players to make it something amazing. I'm gonna stop throwing shade towards Last Oasis. I don't even need to say anything about that. We appreciate your feedback on what we hope is the beginning of a long journey together. If you're with us, our intention is to be clear and open in our communication and make Dune Awakening a game that everybody can enjoy. They listened, if we're to judge by this, but they listened. We'll see what actually gets implemented, but if we're to take them for their word, they listened. I don't say 1 million players awakened. Well, I guess not everybody's gonna be on at the same time, but we sit at like 160k concurrent, so that's I'm not upset. I think that is they're making the right move there. I have no complaints. Well, we'll see what's to come, but if they actually do what they're saying here and make the if a win for raids, I think they've got a solid direction. But we'll see. That's good on them. It's quite refreshing. If you look at like other MMOs that aren't survivals, it has a heavy carrying of PvE players, but there's still like that little tiny portion in the corner that is PvP. All the PvP sweats are happy over there, and all the PvE players are happy. Never at a point do they have to blend together, and that's what makes a game survive. But there's always the option to go get it. I like the idea of adding in a duraluminum shoulder launcher. Yeah, a tier 5 shoulder launcher is smart. It should. The fact they didn't have that is ridiculous. Like, I get what they were trying to go for it, but it's like they didn't learn from other survival MMOs' mistakes. Which is PvP walling endgame loot. I don't want to say loot, resources. You should never PvP wall endgame resources. You're gonna kill your survival game real fast if you do that. Well, good on them for listening to their community, dude. That was, from all the other games that I've played, that is quite refreshing. I'll eventually get this base finished, dude. Jeez. I don't know what I'm doing with this area over here. I just kind of, I was like building out and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. That's just the whole base as an entity altogether, to be honest. I also, well, I guess I could start parking my buggy over here. I've been having it tucked in that little cave. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this little cave. It'll eventually reach through, but I'll put like stairs going through here again and have a little hallway, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Anywho, oh, hold up. Oh, I also have a very full inventory. Let's fix this. That is the wrong one. I'm an idiot. That one. I'll give them a little leeway since they went from Conan to this, and Conan it's either full PvE or full PvP, and Dune you have the in-between with PvP zones and PvE everywhere else. I mean, true enough. So it's kind of like a different dynamic than what they're used to doing, but I don't want to be one of those people that are like, oh, well, it's clear the devs don't play don't actually play those kind of games. But, that being said, having played a bunch of survival MMOs myself, I feel like that was pretty evident to begin with. Just, this is the first time a dev is actually doing it properly. And on the, not necessarily the flip side of that coin, but to add to that point, I think it really furthers the fact that they should have done actual end game testing before the full release, but we're technically testing the game before it goes to console, so I'm not upset about that, but first impressions matter. That's the unfortunate thing. As long as enough people are made aware of those changes, then it's fine. Which, you know, streamers and content creators and such are definitely pummeling the YouTube with it, so. All we can do is hope Funcom doesn't lose the way down the road to like so many games that came before. As long as they keep this trajectory, I think they're fine. So far, they're listening to their community, they're addressing the changes accordingly. At least they're saying they're going to. So as long as they actually do what they're saying they're going to do, instead of just blowing smoke up us, then it's fine. I think it bodes well, because at least they're not pulling a Blizzard, you know? You think you want that, but you don't. That is not how you do game development. I'm glad they're like, oh, that's what you want? Yeah, okay, whoops, we should address that, huh? Oh. There was a base here. Did someone not pay their taxes? Uh-oh. So many devs listen to the loud minority and not the people that actually make good suggestions. Yeah. Yeah, and it's not even that they... Because there's a loud minority in both camps of PvP and PvE, right? Because there's the... I'm gonna use... Oh, why? Just got out here, man. Oh, that's coming quick, too. We're too high. Right here. Here. That's unsheltered. Oh, fuck me. I don't have anywhere safe to park. God damn it. Oh. That is not gonna count. Everyone find out. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's coming towards me. It's 2K out. And it's coming in hot. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Base. That guy's base. It's sheltered. I need a schmoove. I'll further my thoughts on the extremes of both camps here in a moment. I need to get safe. And then I'll dump my thoughts real quick. Excuse me, this... Okay, I was about to say, this should be sheltered, bro. You have the extreme side of PvPers where they just... They're like, quit complaining, quit crying. So actually, I have a great example of that in one of the comments sections on one of my videos. So, I uploaded that video of the trio, well, portion of it. I had to really tighten that shit down, so I'll upload a proper highlight of it at the end of the week of my deep desert exploits. But, someone commented, of course, this guy can't type for shit, so I'll paraphrase. Of course, the 3 muted sociopaths that chase you with rockets and don't interact other than to grief you. That's not what happened. I was in a PvP zone, and they tried to PvP an easy target. I said I wouldn't say grief, I'd sooner say it's just unemployed behavior, nothing wrong with what they did, just wish they'd negotiate instead of go into full murder goblin mode. And then someone else comments, that first comment was a prime example of the extreme side of PvEers. And then you have the extreme PvPer coming in here. It's saying, of course, it's a Care Bear complaining that people are engaging in PvP in a PvP zone. The confliction between these two was pretty funny. This thing went back and forth for a bit. What is this guy talking about? Oh god, he commented more. Oh god. There was so much more. But yeah, he was just trying to say that they were griefing. I'm not going to read all that right now, but he was trying to say they were griefing me just simply because I had no means to defend myself. Like, that's not grief, that's just my own stupidity. You know? And a lot of times devs have the problem, like you said, of catering to one extreme or the other and not having a nice middle ground. And for once, refreshingly, it seems like they're going for a middle ground with this. As a general PvE person these days, I understand what might happen when I engage in a PvP zone in games. Yeah, exactly. I almost said it, but I was like, dude, that's like getting upset that you got shot when walking through a war zone without a gun. Like, that's no one's fault but your own, you know? Most people that complain from the PvE side are a bit too much of a snowflake. Well, yeah. And a good example of, like, I think it's like entitlement that plays into it, you know? And a good example of that is the Star Citizen community. You get a bunch of people who are heavy into PvE in that game. They don't want to do any sort of PvP, so everyone's upset about anything that happens over in Pyro. But you don't see a single bit of bitching from the PvP players when there's events going on in Stanton. Why is that? All these people are like, oh, well, I want access to every drop of content without having to deal with PvP. And to a point, I understand that. Like, you don't want your time disrespected or wasted, and you feel a sense of entitlement because you forked up money for a game that you want to enjoy. Whether you got the game that you thought you were getting or not is a whole nother story, but that entitlement starts to impede on, like, what you actually purchased, you know? Star Citizen is really a rather extreme example of that because people dump thousands of dollars into it, so that entitlement is way stronger. And people get a lot more vicious in that community about that sort of thing. Most people that complain are the part. I knew my risks when I went to Pyro, and luckily nobody tried to attack me. It's valid. You know what you do if you're PvE and don't want to PvP? You farm shit to sell in the auction house and buy stuff from the PvP area. Sure. Yes, to a degree, I can agree with that. We rewind a little bit to where I was talking about the announcement. They were talking about adding raids, so that would give the PvEers more stuff to do to get more endgame schematics, yada yada, and maybe make it slightly catered more to PvE stuff, and then have the PvP schematics be more catered to PvP things. However, resources that are required to have endgame gear should not be PvP walled, regardless. Otherwise, you're not going to have people wanting to play your end game. Yeah, exactly. It's a workaround. It's not a solution. But with the announcement that the directive creator made, I think they are addressing it appropriately. I think with what changes they're adding in, I think it's perfect. Because then it makes both sides happy. As long as I personally strongly think that they should add raids in. It'll give more of like an end game content thing to do other than the deep desert. Because really at that point, deep desert for PvEers is just go farm resources, you know? I'm sure there could be like research stations and all that jazz, but there's plenty of fulfillment, I guess, when it comes to PvP sweats going into the deep desert, because you can have that adrenaline rush PvP engagement. But I think eventual raids being added into the game are going to be a huge factor in the game's success. To be fair, endgame is PvP, because if you're not going into PvP, then you really don't need the stuff you get from PvP areas. You definitely did not tune in when I was going over that. Did you see the announcement from the creative director addressing endgame and PvP? And okay, you know what happened? This is the issue. You're the oil. The PvEers are the water. The problem with endgame is because they're mixing water and oil, right? That does not make a successful get it. Oh, you didn't? Okay, that explains a lot. I will... How to... I don't even know how to summarize that quickly. It should... Okay, so they're going to make more of the deep desert PvE and keep PvP off into a section. That way, PvPers can go enjoy the better loot that's over in the PvP section, whereas the PvEers can enjoy endgame content without having to engage in PvP, but they don't get the higher risk, higher reward stuff over in the PvP area. There's a lot that they went over. If you rewind the stream a little bit, you'll see when I go over it. I'll probably upload a edited form of that tomorrow. But with the changes that they're talking about making, I don't see any negative outcome. I just see positives. Now, I'm a PvP sweat myself. I'm not heavy into just PvE. You know? But you have a lot of players who are PvE players that feel walled off from endgame because of how it's currently set up. And a huge part of that is most of the endgame stuff is PvP walled, even resources. And that's the biggest issue, resources. Schematics, stuff like that, that should be in PvP zones, like better schematics, but the resources to make tier 6 stuff should not be PvP walled. That's my bad for coming into a discussion without knowing the latest news. No, you're good. You're good. I'm not coming in and like trying to like attack you for it or anything. I'm just trying to make sure things are clarified. You know? As long as everybody ends up on the same page, it's all good. But yeah, the announcement they made was good. There's talk of having a tier 5 rocket launcher as well, and things like that. So the short of it is they're listening to both sides of the community and addressing accordingly. That way everybody's happy. And it's honestly the first time I've ever seen that. The PvP area in the new upcoming Deep Desert will enjoy the larger spice fields still, and they will extend the PvE area of the Deep Desert. Yeah, well, there you go. Osiris pretty well summarized it to a degree. They're talking about... all they said was, if we add raids... I don't think it should be an if, I think it should be a when. But... that, I think, would be quite detrimental for... maybe not detrimental, but it would be a vital improvement for the overall, like, longevity of the game and incentive for players to pop back in and play and keep playing, so on and so forth. They're making more changes to land strat as well. So... they're listening. And that's what's the most important. I can't remember the last time I encountered developers actually listening to their community in a rational way. I don't think they need to have raids or something, because honestly you could do Deep Desert stuff in aluminum gear. I did anyway. Well, see, now people are going to get bored. That's the thing. People will get bored of Deep Desert. It's not... You got to think long term. People aren't going to want to hop in and do the exact same thing over and over. Having a slight mix-up here and there would be good. There's PvE sweats that aren't going to really give a shit about Deep Desert grind. Hold on, I'm catching up on chat. Nerfs will be coming to Scout Thopter. Oh yeah, that too. So they'll be taking a speed loss with rockets. The delay with chat's super fucking annoying on YouTube, but it is what it is. Vehicle with the boosters equipped once they... Yeah. They're putting more balance into vehicle speeds and when they're equipped with various different equipment and stuff like that. But I think, as what I was saying for, like, raids, I do think they need to have raids. Oh god, I read that wrong, didn't I? Honestly, you can do deep desert stuff in aluminum gear. Yeah, I read it wrong. Don't mind me. I wear glasses, but sometimes they don't work. I think I might be a little dyslexic or something, because my brain saw the do and the think next to each other, and it read as don't for some reason. Don't mind me. But yeah, I agreed. I think they should have raids for those PvE sweats so they have something more enjoyable to do. As far as like end game content that, you know, is other than diving into deep desert to feed stuff to the houses. As I said, what we're dealing with is very early iterations of what they want for endgame content and what could and would be for endgame, so there's going to be a lot of changes. And as I was saying before, PC players getting the game before console is just like a shadow alpha test, you know, or shadow beta test, or whatever you want to call it. It's a test. We're testing the game still before they release it to a broader audience. My over-preparing ass went to the deep desert in unique duraluminum gear since the PvE enemies are so tanky. I could never. My dumbass is like, oh, I have aluminum gear on? Sure. This'll be enough. And if someone kills me and takes my stuff, they'll be very upset. But as we were talking yesterday, I'm very much a grub. I don't let myself give bigger groups any sort of good gear. I make them work for shit gear they could have gotten back in the PvE area. And then laugh. Something else they're trying to implement. Catch everybody up. With the changes that they're doing with the thopters and the attachments to said thopters, like nerfing the speed on a scout thopter when equipped with missiles, and still making, regardless of what wings you have on a scout thopter, the fastest vehicle out there, as long as it has boosters. They want to make it to where, as long as you're prepared in the right way, you never have to engage in PvP. It's just, as long as you're vigilant and don't do anything stupid or underprepared, you can get out of there. And even then, like, as we saw yesterday, or if you saw the short I uploaded today, I was in an assault thopter, got grouped up against by 3 scout thopters shooting me up with missiles, and I got out just fine. Sure, I was missing a wing and my hull was pretty much broken, but I was alive and able to repair my stuff. But they want to like further that gap so like PvP is more consensual, for lack of a better way of putting it. It's not really the right wording for it, to be fair, but fuck, I'm an idiot, I forgot. Because no matter what, there is going to be some PvE sweat that decides to dip their toes in the deep desert and be like, oh no, I don't want a PvP and I went in underprepared. Leave me alone, I don't want to be... And then they get killed anyway. And then they say that person griefed them. It's like, oh, nope. You walked into the dark alley, and it's not their fault if you got stabbed, you know? It's not really a good way to word it either, but you get what I mean. Don't put yourself in that situation to begin with, and it won't be an issue. I'm just pleasantly surprised with their direction with it. I think it's good. I'm relieved, to be honest. I think I was preparing for the worst. After years of dealing with Last Oasis devs, I 100% thought that they were just going to be like, no, we know what we want the game to be. We know what's best. Right. Okay. Right. Meanwhile, Last Oasis have, like, at best 100 concurrent players. Oh. There's a reason I used to scout. Use the scout solely for resource runs in the deep desert. Yeah, for sure. And that will be me now. Especially after yesterday. Most people are way too carefree and then complain they got... Yeah. Yep, exactly. Oh, I forgot I need to park over in the other section now. But yeah. People just go out ill-prepared and then end up getting ganked and be like, oh, why'd I die? Why'd you kill me? Well, I mean, paint yourself as an easy target, you're gonna get clapped, bud. And that's just the way it is. I think guilds could sell security details for solo players. Really roleplay a mercenary guild. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like, that plays into what the creative director said in... I want to say it was the creative director, but either way, the devs said before that they wanted the deep desert to be a situation to where, like, groups and guilds kind of worked together for a singular goal, and that would be a good example of that happening, where a small group isn't exactly, you know, geared up enough to go handle it because they don't have the numbers, and they could hire a guild that's more prepared. Giving more player economy as well. Would be a super nicer world, but people are way too hungry for shitting on people these days. True. Everybody's got to get that clip, you know? That will likely not happen on official servers. I to a degree, yes, I agree with the Osiris, but I think there will be a situation where people will ask for like a guard detail to follow them and escort them out into the deep desert. Now, could you potentially get stabbed in the back and fucked over? Absolutely. But that's just the name of the game, you know? You gotta put a little trust forward, and you gotta extend a little bit of trust. And that's when you go out there with garbage gear and stuff that you're okay with expending. And the reason why I think that will potentially happen is my experience in Star Citizen. People are eager to, like, especially dogfighters, are super eager to be like, I will follow your cargo ship and fight off anyone that is trying to gank you. There are those people out there. So, and a lot of Star Citizen players are moving over to this. There's also a lot of Star Citizen content creators that have been diving into this. So I think there potentially will be like a small group of it happening. It all depends on the systems that the devs put into place to allow for that. Way too untrusting from all my time in Rust and DayZ. Understandable. Countless other survival games, so I'm also a bit jaded. Yeah, and I get that. I 100% get that. It's, believe me, I'm the same way. It's one of the reasons why I tend to play solo, because I just don't trust grouping up with anyone. I could, but I think this game has systems in place that are more suited to be able to do that. God damn, dude, I have no storage. So much shit everywhere. I just want to get this aluminum out of the buggy and in the refinery. There we go. Should probably also depot everything. You've gleefully backstabbed people back in the day. I fear it happening to me. I could never. I don't know, man. I don't know why. What, like, I could never do that, you know, unless, you know, someone was asking for it. I have been in that situation where, like, someone was being a piece of shit in a game, and I'm like, okay, now to make your time in the game a living hell. I've done that. Last Oasis was a huge example of that. My whole agenda in that game became, okay, how can I waste their time? Hence me grubbing around and having really garbage gear and loot and wasting their resources and time. It was also in high school, so I thought it was fun. I think you just kind of backhandedly just did a drive-by to so many people in games. Because how much that, like, there's a lot of people that are in their, like, 20s that still do that shit, and I'm like, god damn. I think it's for sure like a maturity thing. That's why I'm so quick to, like, call it unemployed behavior, you know? Decade later, and I just wanting to enjoy my time after work. Yep, exactly. And that's a huge thing that there's, like, a lapse on understanding for a lot of people. I think it's just an age difference thing, maybe, or maturity difference. So, you know, what's the rapper's name? Fuck, what's his name? Hold on. I can't quote him and not give you guys the name of the artist. That would be shit. Starts with an M. Hold on. Take me like 2 seconds to find him. Okay, maybe a little more than 2 seconds. Marlon Craft. He has a song where he says, they say people age like wine, but that's not always the case, or something like that. Some people, I can't remember the exact wording now. I'd have to find this song. I also think it should be like World of Warcraft, and people in Atreides can't attack other Atreides and vice versa. I agree. I kind of agree with that. I think that would bring an interesting dynamic to the game. I kind of figured it would have been like that going in, and I'm kind of surprised that that's not the case. I guess not everybody is perfect in Atreides, you know? And the Harks are definitely not perfect. So the likelihood of someone stabbing someone in the back while out in the open? Yeah. So I can see both sides, but I agree though. It'd be interesting to see how that works out with them adding more factions and stuff too. Wouldn't be opposed to same faction people not being able to fight each other, but that comes with its own downsides. Yeah, because that's the yeah, because the problem then you face, you have a prominently dominated server by Atreides, but a not so prominent presence of Harkonnens. So then there wouldn't be very much PvP interaction. That's really the only drawback I could see. If they do attack a same faction person, they become a rogue that gets a bounty put on them. And can be attacked in PvE areas? I think that's just like a karma system. Yeah. Kind of like a Star Citizen's crime stat system, right? And then you go, if you get killed in the bounty system, then you go get sent to that Harkonnen show, the the man trap, or whatever they call it. i.e. the gulag. Fight your way to get out and join society as a upstanding citizen again. I don't think I would be too opposed with that, but I think before they even remotely consider something like that, they should just balance the game as is to a degree. They have a, and by balance I mean they need to focus more on how the combat is in general. You hated the crime stat in Star Citizen? Don't add prison in Dune. Well, okay, don't add a, like, oh, you have a crime stat 5, so you are stuck in prison for 48 hours. Is ever been, I think the longest prison sentence I've seen in Star Citizen was like 24 hours personally. I don't know about anyone else. I agree. I think that system's done, but dumb. But I think, like, kind of like in a, now I've played like maybe 1 hour of Call of Duty Warzone, but you know how there was the gulag system in Warzone? They could implement a prison system like that, where you fight your way out. But that being said, I do think that would be kind of like over complicating the mechanics of the general system that we have. Can we all agree for Dune that there needs to be a backpack type item to increase? Yes. Why is there not a way to increase your personal carrying capacity, dude? This is wild. Oh damn, I am full on blood. I'm kind of like, I'm bothered and shocked by that. Maybe there is and I just haven't come across it, but we should be able to increase our carrying capacity. I feel like everyone kind of like instinctively thinks that would be something available, but naturally, no. Okay. Let's get another Mark 6 Scout Thopter made. Well, I have more aluminum craft. Whoops. Did I run out of water? Is that why I didn't craft it? Oh. No, I just didn't queue it up. I updated the storage and just didn't do anything with it. I think I used all the water just then, though. Get to wait for them bodies to cook, I guess. If you do wear a backpack and carry more, you get worn out faster and thirsty faster. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that, you know. I mean, at that point, everybody would just, you know, everybody that has a backpack would be rolling around in a buggy or a thopter, but I think that would be more so of a the drawbacks of that would be more apparent when you're doing like dungeon dives and all that, but with how much loot that they currently have, it's mostly balanced to how much loot you can carry. So trying to think of a situation where I would actually use a backpack other than farming bodies, I don't know. Give us a Norman Reedus and his fetus backpack, you know, where he carries the body on his back. I'd rather that. Let me stack bodies faster. Okay, let's get this Mark 6 made. The Coriolis comes tomorrow, so we have a little bit of time. Just a little bit. Oh shit, do I know I have... Damn it. Whoops. Kinda a bit of an oversight on my part. I did not think about the fact that I need water to craft the thopter, so I'm gonna go sell my garbage. And hope I have enough for the... Damn it. Copter variant. Maybe I just go farm some more bodies while we wait for that water to cook. How much time they got? Oh, that one's done. Glad I checked. In base, you shouldn't have a max weight, so you can move shit around. Yes and no. Because, like, if you just go into your storage, go to a buggy, then... Oh, I still have aluminum in my buggy. But you could just, like, use your vehicles as, like, a transferring depot. So I don't think that's necessary. And then there's circuits as well. However, I just wish that these stations acted like all the other storage and crafting stations. Put storage in here. Let us just access the storage so I could deposit a corpse from this menu rather than having to run over to this box and then dump the body in. Oh, okay, about to have a lot more water, so I might actually be able to make that Mach 6th Thopter, but I will for sure need more bodies. I guess if you could do that, then it would work better. Yeah, I think the only issue I've ever ran into, as far as being able to transfer anything, is just bodies. Bodies are the most annoying, tedious thing. Okay, we got water. Gotta go make the Thopter. Also, let me deposit all water with one button press, right? And extract. Especially when you have the later tiered, like the Deca later John. Or whatever it's called. The big ass water container. Sitting there having to spam the button over and over to fill it all the way up is kind of annoying. Nothing worse than coming back to your base with 100k plus water and click deposit. Why are you doing that? That is wild. I know there's like the filter extractor, and then you can also have the dew reapers, but I haven't touched... I mean, I've been doing a little bit of blood extraction, but I haven't really felt a need to farm water other than my weird... what's the word? Oh, as a... what Cyrus called it, a weird operation room. Morgue? Is that the word I'm looking for? I have a very, very disturbing morgue. That's what I think that amounts to. Alright. Scout Doctor, come in. Oh. Yep, okay, Mach 5. Oh, Mach 5. Oh, damn, I ran out of military regulators. Shit. Well, I got some more farming to do out there, don't I? When I was mashing out aluminum and duraluminum back needed water. Those collected blood bodies and dew. Oh. That makes sense. I get to a point where I'm just like, I don't care, I just want the bodies. Then I just stack those up. One aluminum short for making the Mach 4 storage. I find it weird that we don't have a Mach 4 or a Mach 5 storage. Just Mach 4 for the Thopters. And your refinery base has 600k water storage. That's I'm getting close to that, man. Close. I have like 300 something K. Okay. Scout-thopter in the works. Yet again. Can't believe I lost that to a fucking game crash, dude. And the fact it was like it was not just server-wide, but over multiple servers. It makes me really wonder what happened. Alright, let's go sell my garbage. All that crafts. I'll come back and build it. I'm happy-ish with how the base is coming out. It's definitely a work in progress, and I don't know what I'm doing with it. But it's getting there. Let's pay a visit to our good old friend up in the tower. Get some more loot. Go sell. God forbid ISF that they ever give the wings collision physics. Oh my god, dude. Yeah. If they ever gave the wing, I was like, oh man, there's no collisions on the wings when I first played. And I'm like, that's kind of a bummer because, you know, I'm coming from like Star Citizen and shit as well. But with how this game is, I think it is totally fine. It's refreshing to play a game that's made with the intention of being fun and not hyper realistic. You know? There's talk of them adding fall damage to vehicles, or at least the land vehicles, because I know if I hopped out of this right now and it let it dive down to the ground, it would. I've seen people do it anyway. It blows up. So I don't know if it must just be a land vehicle thing. And with what they said in the, this is kind of not really to the same point, but on the same topic of land vehicles, I kind of hope they add tanks or something. I mean, we've seen them, but I kind of hope they add some sort of tank, because that would be cool for ground combat. Ground vehicle combat. And with the recent
What'll it be?
post from the creative director, it seems like they want to push more towards having a better dynamic between air and ground combat. Enjoy my garbage, lady. Damn. At least we don't have to eat. That is so true. Unless it's spice. Give us AA tanks. Yeah. Yeah, something. I mean, we get rocket launchers on our buggies. So that's like halfway there, but then I'm like, okay, when in the absolute fuck were we gonna use a buggy with rocket launchers, you know? Unless you got a carrier airdropping a buggy down somewhere and then just being like, alright, deuces, good luck. In the deep desert. Because once you drop them, they're stranded. There's no shot of them, like, actually making it anywhere. Other than that rock that you drop them at. I don't even know what you would use it for PvE, you know? There isn't anything in-game currently, PvE-wise, that buggy launcher would be good for. Unless you're a big org with a chunky base out in the deep desert, and you decide to not build in the PvE zone and out in the PvP zone, then maybe you would need some sort of ground defense for aircraft. That's such a circumstantial use, you know? I'm so indecisive. I have 263 duraluminum. Yeah, fuck it. I have a bunch of aluminum queued, so may as well. Do I only have 23 aluminum right now? Yep. And more queued up at least, but clearly not enough. Well, eventually I have a bunch. Is that all my ore? It is. It's at least a little bit to fall back on. I want a different weapon though. Not too keen on the weapon I got. I do like the Karpov. I was thinking running a Karpov and a spit dart would be good. Probably do that. Get rid of the pistol. The pistol is not ideal for PvP whatsoever. I have more garbage to sell, god damn it. Just when I think it's all gone, it's not. Right, pistol. Out of inventory, please. It's a really good pistol, but I could not see myself using that in PvP. I would die so fast trying to use that. At some point I'll organize everything. Probably soon, actually, because I'm almost at a point of having excess mats to be able to make more storage. Right now everything's just kind of like a bucket, just dump it kind of thing. Let's top off on water. What do you mean? Why would it... So dumb. Why would it spill? Why let it spill? Boy, so I need more power regulators. I'm trying to think of what I need. We obviously need more stravitum and titanium so I can make tier 6 stuff. Need a lot of that. I don't think we have to worry about this storm. Some weapons equipped.
Sector weather alert. A large
And
sandstorm
put
is
that
approaching.
there. And grab some light darts. Those are heavy. Some light darts at least. I know I have like 3k here somewhere. Somewhere. Oh well. I was very wrong about that desert. Why did not warn me earlier? That desert, that storm. I was definitely like, oh, it doesn't seem like I'll have to worry about it. Comes right through. Okie dokie. Dandy. Something else I should really think about doing. Research. Because I am lacking in the vehicle department. Like, oh, I should farm more stravitum and titanium, even though I can't build any of it. I did not build the Scout Thopter yet. I crafted the parts, I did not make it. I'm an idiot. I need that. Did it do the thing? Looking like it did the thing. God damn it. I only make one wing. I think what is wrong with me? I only made one wing. For whatever reason, 2 storages, but I guess, you know, having a spare one's not the worst thing. Man, I am a dingus sometimes. Oh, maybe it was a storage thing. Wait, what? Okay, I didn't make an additional storage. I'm just an idiot and only made one wing. It was very confusing. Something I should consider, though, is probably getting missiles for the Scout Thopter. Alright. Make it pretty. I was looking into, I think I did it on stream, but I was looking into the whole trail quest thing, and apparently it's just like a singular mission that transfers you over. And given that you could just buy everything from the opposing side, I don't think I'm going to do a betrayal. And I'm for sure just going to make another character for Conan, but I chose Atreides for very superficial reasons. The what? Oh right, this is my Mark IV. I was like, what do you mean I already have a vehicle in there? Right. It should be good to keep in here, yeah. Yoink. Alright. Oh, what the oh, you know what I should grab? So I only have ammo. Yeah, I need to make another compactor. Sort of a tier. Four. Alright, I haven't unlocked the 5th one yet. Whoops. Well, this one's a unique, so let's go ahead and craft one of those. I should have it, alright. Or is there not a Mark V compactor? Oh, nope, there it is. Oh, I know, there isn't a Mach 5, it just jumps to 6. Interesting. Damn, I need thermo-responsive ray amplifiers and more spice wand. Ugh. To make the Mach 6 cutter ray, which, sadly enough, I'm only interested in that for a contract, not even my own use of it. Okay. The smart side of me is like, oh, I should just go farm intel real quick. That way I can have better things unlocked when I have the resources. But then there's the other part of me, it's like, go get the better resources and cook them while I go get more intel. You know, actually that saying it out loud just answered what I should do. I'm gonna do that. Am I tripping? I could have sworn I had more batteries. I guess not. Oh, you know what? They might be out in the deep desert base. That's fine. Let's make some more. And yeah, fuck it. Let's make 9. I'll need them. More the better. Is there anything in here? Oh, we have fuel cells. Well, never mind. They were in my inventory. Oh, did not mean to grab the Straviton fiber. Well, let's go depot that. Definitely want to get more of that, so I think I'm gonna... Main focus will be, obviously, spice, because there's a never-ending need for that. Especially now. So I have 0. I have no spice, dude. New spice. Ample residue, but no spice. We've got 3 large batteries. Damn, that shit crafts fast. Okay. Oh. I think we're good. Just triple check. I've got water, I've got batteries, I've got air stuff, I got ammunition, I got shitty bandies, compactor. I think, yeah. Good to go. I also need the power regulators and military power regulator and oh, but the power regulator, that's going to be from that one point of interest. Go hit that real quick before I run out. Guess I can't share links in chat. Yeah, YouTube's real strict about that, which I'm not against. Because it prevents a lot of bottage nonsense happening. But if you want to send links, I'd recommend just joining the Discord, not to like shill that out. And then you could just throw it up in general or something. Or even DM it to me. But if you want to share a link, you can just throw it up in the Discord server and you can look at it that way. Unless you're trying to shill your OnlyFans, then I don't want to see it. Yeah, that shit doesn't work on YouTube either. If you go into the description of the stream, you should see a link for Discord. What's your thoughts on the removal of forced PvP for Tier 6? Fucking godsend. That's my thought on it. That is the smartest move they could have done. Progressional resources should never be PvP walled. Schematics? I can be okay with that. Having a minor bit of leverage to better tune your character? Sure. But progressional resources. Oh, it's a funny clip from Dune when I was playing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm all for those. Yeah, you can send me that on Discord. But yeah, I think it's a smart move for them to remove a PvP wall for progressional resources. That's the major downfall to a lot of survival MMOs. Oh, I have the other thing equipped. I did not realize. Dude, I forgot how good the sniper was. Holy shit. I will say that the knockback for headshots with heavy hitting weapons is so satisfying. When you're just casually tinkering with skills. I'm just barely out of range. Oh, you dick. Quit moving so I can scrunk your dome. Thank you. I don't think there was a single thing I was upset with the that post from the creative director. Shield didn't turn on. The only criticism I had was it should not be an if they add raids, it should be a when. Oh, I didn't bring a blood bag? Whoops. Oh well. I guess I can grab these bodies while I'm at it. Waste not, want not, right? I always need water. So not gonna let me loot the... Okay. No goodies for me then, that's fine. Let's go, power regulator. Just in case my my ship stuff decides to not make it out. What's that? Alright, I'll take a look here in a bit. Depot this stuff and come back. Agree to set my day to much brighter, both the effort to make PvP not just rockets and to improve endgame for PvE. Yeah, for sure. Like overall, like, it's such a good middle ground approach, which is such a rare thing from developers. Usually they cater to the extreme of one side or the other, which leads to the inevitable downfall of their game, but it's refreshing to see a rational approach to listening to your players and balancing a game. It's so nice. Makes me happy. So that means the 10-year plan that they have for the game won't be as bleak as originally perceived. So even though I'm a PvP sweat, I also like my time respected. And the fact they were like, yeah, let's close the gap for consensual PvP and make it to where people who don't want to engage have the ability to get the fuck out. What a concept. In the meantime, though, it's gonna be a little sweaty, which I'm okay with. I like a little sweat. I like talking shit while I'm sweating, but... Yeah, Pet the Voxel. Listen to their players a lot. It's always nice when games are like that. Yeah, I didn't get into Path of Exile too much. It's hard for me to get into those, I feel like. I mean, like, I'm a fan of the games, but it's hard for me to dump a bunch of hours into that. Those are not a, oh, I'm gonna log in every day and do everything I can kind of game. I don't know, I get more satisfaction from, like, progression in this sort of environment, I guess. Oh, I didn't realize these were vents that you could just straight up look inside. I guess that's everything. Wait, can I grab that body? I don't think my inventory's that full. What? Oh, this is a pre-existing body. That's the body I can grab. Oh. But, excuse me? Why is it not letting me grab the body? The option's not even... I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm gonna walk away. Never happened. But yeah, it's like I said, it's nice seeing the devs actually listen to their player base. I think, like what I was saying at the beginning of the stream, a huge issue with how the game is currently is it makes it to where PvE players don't even want to bother with playing the game to endgame because of how endgame currently is. which is a shame because the PvE, they have a phenomenal PvE experience. Albeit it's buggy, the mechanics are jank and whatnot, and combat's jank, but it's great and it has a good single player story. So it would be a shame to miss out on that like 100 hours that you could potentially dump in. I have yet to bother with any house stuff, so I'm kind of curious what this is.
What are you doing out in these blasted wastes? I suppose you could ask me the same. You may call me Penethorn Larkspur.
Penethorn?
I have the distinction of serving the interests of House Wedrus in these whispering wastes. I studied for a time to be a mentat. My home world boasts one of the largest percentages of mentats. My house, however, had need of me elsewhere.
That's a that's a gentle way of putting it. More like, you're not worth it. Arrakis, you go. I didn't even see this dialogue option. What brings a failed mentat to Arrakis?
That is a very pointed way to put it.
Yeah, well, I'm
I
to
was
the point.
merely offered a better path to serving my great house, and I seized it. I graduated at top of my class from the espionage schools of House Wedrus. Something in my profile suggested I be placed on Arrakis. Arrakis teems with secrets, and secrets are the lifeblood of my house, so what better place to serve? And what better time than now?
Why does his voice get like that?
The War of Assassins. It calls to House Wedrus. It begs for our expertise. One would do well to woo our favor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like a questing psychopomp, I seek something lost in Sheol. Of course, you may ask. However, I am not at liberty to say.
Whale shit. Joke's on you, I've already eluded the weights, so... There's nothing to be had out there. Okay, what about the house?
Hearken to our words. The shadows are listening. We hold primacy over the domain of espionage. We boast the greatest practitioners of that art. It is not merely the volume and quantity of secrets we cultivate, but a reputation for wielding that data with subtlety, impartiality, and refinement. All of that information flows to the databanks of our homeworld, Muse. That glorious world city, a sprawl of steel, glass, and clockwork perfection. The city devoured the forests and
sounds very
mountains long
bleak.
ago, but the people live with ventilated air, underground mass transit, and copious leisure time. House Wedrus was created as part of a pact by the early Landsrad to achieve similar success in espionage as enjoyed by the Order of Mentats. We were also meant to counter the growing power of the Guild and act as a check against the startling influence of the Bene Gesserit. We achieved these lofty goals quickly.
That's it? That's all this? What is the point of this? You show me... Okay, now it's... Yeah, I found a representative, but I don't understand what to do with... Is that where I, like, turn in stuff for said representatives for the Landsrad? I want to, like, dip my toes in that. I guess it probably won't really matter until next cycle of it. I haven't really dipped my toes into it. I want to see how grindy it would be for a solo to try to do that sort of stuff. Well, we got the power regulators, so now to go farm up the titanium and stravitum and spice. Go drop off all the stuff that I grabbed, and then we'll move on out to the deep desert. Slowly but surely, my big old fat copter. It's pretty much just a cargo copter for me. Alright, depot into all my random ass boxes that have no organization. Gosh dingus dang it, I did the thing. Accidentally pulled out my light ammo. Things to sell. And we got an easy 4K. Slowly but surely getting closer to that, that Thopter variant. Damn, how many times do I have to press it? Jeez. How much money are we at now? I don't know what... Whoop. We're really close. Need a whopping 4,500 basically. Oh, he's not done yet. Beam. Also wish I only got 3 bodies from that place, but whatever. I got 12 minutes, but I'm not waiting. Let's get out to the deep desert. Probably ample water here for me to at least cook up the titanium and stratodum. It's gonna be nice when I get to the point of being resource rich that I can actually just go out into the deep desert for the sake of just doing PvP. We'll see how long that takes though. Oh, you know what I forgot though? Hold up. Goddamn. This thing is a lot to turn around. I give it a wide berth. I forgot. That, oh wait, no, I'm also an idiot. Never mind. I was gonna say, oh, I should go make the missile launcher for the scout, but I don't even have the intel to unlock it yet. So let's just focus on getting that spice and strap titanium, so I can have that cook while I go get the intel. Always feels bad to forget something. You know what feels worse? Thinking you forgot something, but forgot why it is that you forgot something in the first place, because you technically didn't forget it and you just couldn't make it to begin with. That's worse. But that's just my smooth brain in action, that's all. Forgotception, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's a good way to put it. Oh shit, I went through the wrong entrance. Damn it. Oh well. That's okay, I can get fuel cells as well. I did actually forget something. I forgot to bring fuel cells for the generator, but it's gonna be wiped tomorrow, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay. Just a doctor out in the wild with no one here. There's that one. Oh, there was a player at it. Use your actions wisely, sport. Mind your business. I don't know what they said, but... Can you fly these upside down? What the fuck? I know you can like roll it under, but it looked like it turned on the... I'm gonna try that. No, okay. The animation was just goofed. Way to make someone paranoid right as you spawn in, dude. Oh, let me just follow this guy. Go the exact same direction even though they didn't need to. That would have been better if I went through the other entrance, but oh well. That's a very strange base. Thought it was dilapidated, but guess not. People who come out here and build those, I'm like, damn. Alright. Just flex the resources you got, I guess. Damn. Yeah, I really should have. Honestly, it probably would have been more productive for me to just turn around and go in through the other way. No, well. We'll get there eventually. It's a long way to go all the way over. Whoa, this is PvP, this little chunk here? I didn't know it was like PvP between the gaps. That's good to know. All the more reason I should have went through the other entrance. There's a prime example of the dichotomy of the players in here, man. You got minimalistic cube man over here, and then you've got resource flexor over there. Oh, and another resource flexor. If you're building anything other than granite out in the deep desert, you've got more resources than you need. I'm throwing too much shade towards that. It doesn't take much to build those bases. It's just flour, sand, and, well, silicone block, and this I can never remember the name of the black rock to make plus stone. That's like goo, man. I mean, it's a more interesting design, but why put up that many shield doors, you know? Just keep it to the top one. I'm so judgmental to everybody else's base. Meanwhile, wait until you see what I've got going on. Basalt, that's what it is. Basalt. After being at a Mach 5 Scout, this thing feels so slow. Almost there. I can almost see it. At some point, I am going to make some rat bases, like, actually out in the PvP area. Because why not? Make it a little more interesting for loot running and whatnot. I wonder when they're going to implement the changes that they were discussing in the announcement from the director. My beautiful cube. Oh. Promise, I know how to fly. How much time does this have? An hour? Oh, 15 hours. Never mind. I was like, damn. 17 hours. I know it wipes tomorrow, but... may as well throw a little more in. Favorite M&M? Bro, I can't even remember the last time I had an M&M, let alone what my favorite is. Yeah, I guess I'd be right there with you as far as the peanut one. The peanut butter. Because, like, really, I'm trying to think of the different M&Ms I've had, and it's just the regular ones, the peanut ones, and then the peanut butter ones. I haven't really been bothered to mess with any of the other ones. Being fat and eating some at the moment? No, that's... nothing wrong with a little sweet snack. God, when is the last time I bought candy? I have had a craving for my favorite candy, though, which is probably why the peanut butter one's my favorite for M&Ms, is Reese's. Love Reese's. When I used to smoke a lot of weed, oh my god, dude, I ate too much Reese's. Oh, motherfucker, I left my... god damn it. Accidentally depotted my... accidentally depotted my heavy ammo. It's a good thing it's easy to make. I don't often snack on candy anymore. That's just because I just don't bother getting too much, really anything. If I can make something at home, I tend to try to make it at home. How much does... I guess we'll see. Heavy dart's been added to the backpack, but they're not here. Where are you putting them? Or was it light darts that... Oh, no, it was light darts. I'm an idiot. Stop. I need light darts. I'll let that craft. Probably just depot a lot of this in here. Take 2. Found a company called Unreal that have dark chocolate peanut butter cups. They're so much better than Reese's. Oh, really? Oh, I do like some dark chocolate, so I might have to try them. Much less sugar. I'm all for that, because regardless of what they want you to believe, the shit they put in Reese's, that is not peanut butter. that is like peanut butter frosting, borderline. It's good, but it's not peanut butter. I'll have to check that out, though. That's good to know. Whenever I decide to spoil myself, which is, like, never. I'd never buy myself anything. And if I do buy myself something, it's like it has to be an investment, not... I know we're talking about food, but... Very minimal when it comes to that stuff. I used to be heavy into, like, crumble cookies, and that was really bad. I was like... I used to be a lot heavier than I am currently. Let's say that. Also in, like, a not so good relationship at the time, but I was like 255 last year. Now I'm like 180. Only thing is it's like $6 for like 10. How big are the cups, dude? Are they like like Reese's, normal Reese's size, or like... That is wild, dude. $6 for 10. Those better be like the best damn peanut butter cups I have ever eaten for that price. That is wild. At that price point, I may as well make my own. You know. I think that's part of the reason why I don't buy a lot of that stuff at the store anymore, is because I just make it myself, because I'm like, how much you want for that? Fuck that. No. I can make it myself. I'm not doing that. Fast shit, I'm 325. Yeah, I don't eat very much. I think that's part of it. And I've gotten, it took a while. I'm still trying to break out of the habit of not exercising, which I'm still horrible at. I don't exercise really at all. I do stretches, so I'm limber. I'll go skate occasionally, but... shimmy this over a little bit. And by skate, I mean downhill longboard. I do the, like the super fast, drifty stuff. Don't lie to me. I know I can place this in here. Yeah, that's right. It's a good thing the wings don't clip. Jesus. Or they do clip. They don't have physics. Yeah, I was gaining weight rapidly when I was in Colorado, but part of that was just like really shit food in Colorado, to be honest. There was like a terrible variety. Same with Nevada. Terrible variety, not a whole lot of like good food. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, there is such a wide array of cultures. So I could like very easily go get some like authentic Japanese or Vietnamese, Thai, Mexican, Italian, you name it. We've got it up here. So it's, I at least am privileged in that regard, Because holy shit was the food scene bleak in other states. And I'm like, god damn, people have to eat like this out here? This is terrible. But we have a better balance as far as agriculture up here. So you can grow most food in this region. It's my problem. I have the option to eat good food, but I don't. Okay, well, let's figure it up. It's kind of hard when it tastes good, right? I've been in the situation where food was like a crutch. So I kind of get that as far as like kind of relying on it to get some sort of like this is just speaking for myself, not necessarily you, but like I don't want to say like dopamine, but like some sort of positive satisfaction, because there wasn't a whole lot going around me, and I'm a huge foodie, so I love trying a bunch of different kinds of food from various regions and all that jazz. I live in Kentucky and surrounded by farms, but I still get remade trash. You're gonna notice a significant drop, genuinely, if you just stop getting pre-made stuff. Because I still don't eat very well. I eat garbage a lot of days. Well, what would be technically garbage, but still relatively well. I've gotten better about eating nice stuff that's like homemade or like homegrown. So like this morning, I had Greek yogurt with granola and this strawberry apple preserves that my mom had made. She's gotten like heavy into canning, so the canned goods are abundant. But which isn't a bad thing, because the stockpiles of things. Plus there's a lot of local farms and whatnot. Start getting that produce locally and try to get good clean meat. You'll notice a massive difference. Now, that being said, it does take quite a bit of time consumption and effort to even do that sort of meal prepping and whatnot, and trying to make your own food, so I get that. If you're strapped on time, it's not easy, man. Like, it takes like an entire day, which a lot of people don't want to do, and understandably so. I think over the last few years, I got really food conscious with all the garbage that they've been putting into food my entire life here in the US. I wanted to stray from that a little bit. And just in doing that, I shedded weight dramatically. There is no... I gotta go deeper. Damn it. Cut down my meals, but doesn't know myself. Yeah, and that was like the bigger issue for me too. I did not have very good portion control when I was out in Colorado and whatnot, but that in Nevada. But there were other factors at play there. Now I just have a problem of not eating, and you'll see it happen on stream. I'll be like, oh man, I'm doing a lot of really dumb stuff and not thinking properly what's going on. I'm like, oh shit, right, I'm hungry. I should go eat. And then suddenly my brain starts functioning better after I eat. I've been on both ends of that spectrum of bad eating habits, I guess. Both overconsumption and neglect. There's a wee bit of sand that bloomed over here. Let's hope no one's here to take it. So I need to progress, man. At least they got the idea that you should have spice out in the basin. Like, can you imagine how horrible it would be if they put spice out, only out here? 492 here, so I definitely understand. My mom ate trash, so that's what I ate. That's what I continue to do. Yeah, it's hard to break that habit. It's really hard to break that habit. It's the deeply flawed desert. Did you see the creative director's announcement today, Twin Lanes? I wouldn't. I get you're doing a play on words there, but I wouldn't say deeply flawed. Just minorly flawed. If you haven't seen what the director said, I'd recommend either rewinding back on the YouTube stream or go take a look at it yourself. Well, there was also the fact of that game crash I dealt with, so, you know, we have to... Had that happen. Losing an entire ass. Excuse me. Oh, that... I shot the ground, I didn't use the compactor. If you lose your thopter, you cannot escape. That's bad game design? What are you talking about? What? Oh, okay, hold up. You gotta elaborate on that. What sort of... That logic is not computing with me. Oh, right, with the wall. No, I haven't hit that because I'm at least... I have crashed into the wall, but I haven't had that bug. I haven't... To be honest, I don't think there's really a need to go that far out to the outskirts. Staying in the center seems to be the most productive. I can't believe I just walked up and shot the spice with my dart gun. I wouldn't call that bad design. I would just call that a bug, you know? I mean, losing your thopter out here and being stranded, that's, I mean, like, mildly put yourself in that situation, you know? It's beyond losing it to bugs and game crashes. I don't think it isn't the zone wall, it's changing zones. Oh. Yeah, I haven't run into that. I did hear, I think it was Osiris, he had like a bit of desync transitioning between zones. And he alt F forward and came back. Hope you don't have good gear. Bruh. Bruh. Of all people, you think I have good gear? I am the grubbiest grub. I think to have like one bad instance to happen and be like, oh, nope, just never want to touch deep desert again. I think that's a bit of an extreme response. Understandable, but... I wouldn't put like incredibly good gear out in the desert unless I have means of replacing it, you know? That's just general rule of thumb. Ooh. They didn't see me. So I'm just gonna snag this. Nothing to see here, bud. I'm farming just as you are. Is that desync? What is that? possible set of purple. Didn't do anything wrong. Super annoyed. Well... Here's my thought, right? My train of thought. Like, god damn it. I definitely should have. When it comes to Deep Desert, and and just playing this game as is right now, appreciate the follow. Something I've mentioned a couple times this stream is... Oh my god, Twin Lands. Maybe they got the bug, maybe they didn't. But at least they're in an area where they technically won't... No, they're alive. What the fuck? I'll let them get that crash site. I'm not really PvP thirsty at the moment. I need to get some stuff. This is the derby guy from YouTube side. Oh, okay. Yeah, latency do be better on Twitch, but YouTube in general is better in the long run for both streamer and viewer, I feel like. If they could get the latency better, that would be nice. But anyway, what I was going to say. As far as playing the game right now, you still have to treat it like a... I wouldn't say better quality. Better... There's no way it's better resolution quality. I'd say better latency. There's no way it's better resolution. 'Cause it's the exact same. There should be, anyway. It's pixely on YouTube? Shot it is. Oh, what the fuck? Why? Why? Okay, hold on. It's probably not the best place to be doing it. Why is it pixely on YouTube? Let me just... Shouldn't be. God damn it, dude. I don't know what happened. Here, let me... This is when I'm gonna get ganked, I'm sure. But as far as playing the game right now, I think you have to just treat it like... like it's still a beta. Because technically we are still testing it for... for consoles. So definitely approach it more like a test rather than the actual full-fledged game. That is super annoying. Why is it all fucked? Has it been pixely before? But was it like that, like, on other days? That's more so what I want to know. If that's the case, that's very frustrating. That's carbon. God damn it, I don't need carbon. I haven't watched the streams before, I've only seen your clips. That's really annoying. Fair enough. I guess I'll have to go back and look at the, might have to switch up the settings for that. It's really annoying. I'll just run back to the base for that and I'll look at that sword and see if I can get the resolution better, or the pixels better on God damn, it is really bad, isn't it? That's frustrating. I'm gonna try doing a 2K resolution again. I was doing that before, and then I played this game and I was like, nope, can't handle it. What do you mean? The clips were fine because I'm also recording it at the same time. Or just make it worse. I'll have to adjust that setting and then pop back live on the YouTube, I guess. God damn it. Oh well. Figure it out. Need to get that sorted anyhow. So once I hit that 1K subscriber mark, I'll be getting that ad rev, and I want the quality to be better over on YouTube. Sorry, I would have said something before if I knew it wasn't normal. No, you're good. I just want to double check if that's been like a consistent thing or if that's just a today thing. Because no one else has made mention. I know it's nothing against me, I just care about the quality, you know? That's all. And if it is a dog shit right now, I don't want it to be... It seems to be fluctuating. Yeah, it's like coming in and out. That's really weird. Yeah, I might have to like restart the stream, which is annoying on YouTube because I'll have to like set up a whole different stream video. Whatever. I'm gonna go hit that spice first. YouTube's been great for streaming for me. I don't know about that. It was up until I started streaming Dune that it's been kind of shit. I don't know what happened, because I was streaming 2K resolution on YouTube for a while. The texture, it whoop, really fucky over here. No, roll with it, take it and go before the game crashes or something silly. I just mean the amount of time the setup takes. Oh yeah. Tried on both and Twitch just seems faster setup. It is. It absolutely is. Just too bad Twitch is just an overall shit company. Oh, there we go. Now I got the texture. Especially as of late, Twitch has been really pissing me off as far as like ethics and how they handle things. Get in. I'll have to take a look at... Seems to be good now. I don't know. We'll take a look here when I get back to base, see if the quality is fine. Good enough. We're not gonna go grab scraps for the rest of it. Get back. Yeah, no, it's still pixely. Fuck. You fook YouTube. Quite annoying. I think I might have a solution, but we'll see. I guess, like, I'll still be able to remain live on Twitch while I set that up, but it'll only take like 30 seconds. See if I can. Gosh dingus dang it, man. I want to check my old VODs and see if it's being all pixelated, because it hasn't been. I feel like I don't think it has been. The fuck was that? Why was that? What was that sound? The hell? What is that? Am I tripping balls? What the hell? I don't feel comfy with that. No, I don't need any skyworms. I saw a clip of that. I don't want any skyworms. That's a good question. What the fuck was that? It's got the same sound on my server? Yep. That's the downside to Twitch, man. Ads. The fuck? See if anyone knows. It's interesting it happened on multiple servers. I wonder what that was. We'll never know. Well, I'll check global chat and see if anyone responded, but... Interesting. So apparently, that was the start of the storm. I'm assuming Coriolis storm? Huh. Oh. Yeah, actually... Oh, wait, nope. Nope, we're good. Oh! I guess maybe it was for the peak hour... like... PvP rating thing? Maybe? I don't know. I have no idea. It's still pixely on YouTube. Let me see if I can sort that out. That's really annoying. Damn. So, well, actually, I'll get it set up first real quick. I'll change that. Won't take me very long. I just want to see if I can get the quality better for the YouTube side of things. Go back up to a 2K resolution. Okay, so YouTube peeps, there will be another live stream that pops up on the channel in like 30 seconds or less, so you'll have to click over to that, and hopefully the resolution's better.